just now. It all started one morning. They woke up to find straying elephants in their backyards. Hamis Irogo in Benin Kebbi reports that it's an interesting time for the communities as the influx of visitors has made the rural towns tourist destinations.
Gantan Tudu and Gantan Fadama are not names you hear every day. Hear them now. They are small but rich farming communities in Bagu, the local government area of Kebbi State. These villages are floodplains given to large-scale cultivation of rice and maize, millet and corn. That much said, a beautiful story is unfolding in these villages and it is making the nation interested. The people of these communities never saw elephant in all their lives. They woke up to find 3 in their backyard. It sets up chain of events. For the villagers, awe and anxiety. For the larger society, a look at Nigeria's biodiversity and conservation discipline.
Some of the measures that have been taken to protect our diversity are working, because what experts have told me in the last few days is that the elephants are settling into a routine which is consistent with the viewpoint that they are accustomed to the area. Maybe they have been there as younger ones, or somehow they have been there. And the area where these elephants are has historically been a migratory route.
Wild elephants in a settled community where they were not seen before interest me too. I made the 13-hour journey from Abuja to the locations. We ran into various interesting happenings along the way. In Tuga, Kebbi State in particular, flooding waters from River Niger close by overtake the thoroughfare to the villages. Local community are having brisk business, guiding wayfarers to the safety of the other side. Our vehicle was towed by the north, by use for the crossing. We trekked through the flooding waters. Apart from people making a market of various food items, there were also women groups fishing. Eventually, we were in Tungan Tudu, where we joined the local community to where the elephants are supposed to be. We are going to see all that is going to happen. But the movement to that place, like I told you, has not been anything easy. In fact, we have to go through water. River Naja is passing across by. So we have to pass through the water. So follow us as we go and show you the elephants. They are just not far from this place. The terrain where these elephants are found is punishing. Those elephants really know how to keep their distance. I'm sure you have a fair idea of what it takes to go and see those elephants. At several points, we have to enter water that is almost deep to this our waist. It is a serious matter, but we are going to see the elephants nonetheless. After 3 hours walking through this forbidden terrain, we arrived where the elephants are often sighted. Sentries were mounted that will make mere cats grin with the MB just to make them out. Eventually, we sighted them and we took what picture we can. Actually, in Gantan Tudu, there are 2 elephants, a mother and his baby. In Gantan Padama, there is a bull elephant. Between the 2 villages is a distance of 4 kilometers. On the day, there was a rainbow in Gantan Padama, and it symbolized the mood of the people. These majestic animals are making them popular, and there were appeals from governments and organizations not to harm them. But the animals are feeding fat on their crops.
God is so kind, the governor visited this area. He has made a comment telling the people he was very happy with our attitude towards the animal. Nobody molests the animal, nobody go and harass the animal, nobody goes there to do what he likes.
The issues are multiple, including what will be the long-term plan for this wildlife in these villages. There is belief for now, however, that more elephants may show up here. A good news for conservationists, a bad story for the farmers.
You know, I had to call Hamisu to ask where the elephants came from, and it has remained a mystery. But elephants are very calm and gentle. The farmers can't help but cope with their presence. Let's proceed. Civilization has more or less modified several age-long norms and traditions across the country. But there is a community in Ogun State where natives have refused to let go of certain cultural practices which they have passed on from one generation to another. Musa Toliat, who went to Iwoye Ketu during the week, will tell us about it.
The 12-kilometer journey from Imekwafon to Iwoye-Ketu was far from being pleasurable. No thanks to the deplorable state of the road leading to the ancient town. The state of the road necessitated the use of motorcycle as means of transportation in and out of Iwoye-Ketu. The natives are predominantly Yorubas, but they live harmoniously with other tribes, including Hausa, Fulani, Igbo, and Beninois from Benin Republic. History has it that this ancient town, established since 1670, produced the first Are Ona Kakanfo of Yoruba land.
This is the statue of the first Are Ona Kakanfo of Yoruba land, Kokoro Gangan. He was appointed by Alaafin Ajagbo of Oyo, and he fought a series of war in defending the Yoruba land from external attack.
The people of Iwoye-Ketu are mainly farmers and traders. For a first-timer in Iwoye-Ketu, an air of tranquility which pervades the atmosphere gives an impression of a regular community. But something makes this ancient town different and weird. The use of an umbrella is forbidden.
Our ancestors forbid the use of umbrella here in Iwoye-Ketu, and people here cope with it. Even if an alien comes in and an alien is not aware of that taboo, so we inform them diligently. We let them know the reason this is our own taboo.
According to the elders in the traditional council of Iwoye-Ketu, no one knows the consequence of flouting the age-long prohibition. They insist the taboo must be respected.
And when they established Oshaoluwa, which they put umbrella in his abode, they said we must not put it on.
We grew up to learn that it is the Oluwa deity that does not permit the use of umbrella. The deity sees everyone, and we cannot go against the prohibition, so we have to comply.
Regardless of the inquisitive nature of students in the community, absolute compliance is widespread among them.
The batch C of farm practical year students of Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, they used to do their farm practical years in 400 level.
When we came around, the KBSC came to orientate us about the land. And there was question raised, and the answer was like, we don't know, but it's just that don't use umbrella.
We have raincoats that we use on the farm. So when we got here, we adapted to it.
At first, it was like a big shock to me. Like, I never expected someone in Nigeria to have that kind of tradition or norms. But I believe it's their tradition and norm, yeah. So it has to be respected.
Since the Oluwa deity is responsible for the entrenchment of the prohibition, this septuagenarian, who is a traditional high chief, is canvassing for flexibility by appeasing the gods. This is with a view to attracting investors to turn around the fortunes of the community.
If we put fence around it, anybody passing it, or we say 50 meters to that Oshaoluwa, you mustn't put on your umbrella. But many agree, many didn't. So, and we don't want any problem for ourselves.
For now, the elders in Iwoye-Ketu say, until the Oluwa deity says otherwise, the status quo must be respected, come rain, come shine.
Only thing that people enjoy to still come here is that things are cheap, farm products are cheap, feeding so cheap. So if they consider that, they say, okay, let us manage it.
The no umbrella tradition will no doubt stand the test of time. Moving on, apart from crude oil, Jesse, an oil-rich community in Ethiopia West local government area of Delta State, is fast making its mark in agriculture. This is with the cultivation of cassava all year round, making traders knock on its doors almost on a daily basis. Anwali Okunta visited the community.
Exactly 20 years after a pipeline explosion that claimed the life of hundreds and left many others with various degrees of burns and property lost, Jesse, an agrarian community, is in the limelight again. This time not for such an unfortunate incident as many describe the inferno, but for exploits in agriculture, specifically cultivation of cassava. Today, Nigeria produces an average of 10.6 to 15 metric tons of cassava per hectare, making her the largest producer in the world. Although there are no specific statistics, but it is believed that JSA contributes a significant number to the national yield. When processed, cassava has multiple byproducts: ethanol, starch, flour, and the popular gari, one of the staple foods in Nigeria.
This is the occupation of this our village. We use cassava for many things, but if I want for this, we used to do it tapioca, gari. We also get starch out of it.
In Jesse community, cassava is planted all year round. Every week, a large quantity is sold out to buyers from different places. For this feat, the people pride themselves not just reaching crude oil, but as the food basket of Delta State. The farmers even complain that the number of buyers that troop the community every week is not enough for the quantity they harvest.
Every land, even at the backyard, you see our cassava, cassava farm. And that has been the main farm produce of the people of the kingdom.
I can tell you for sure that, like the cities around Jesse today, Saple, Ugara, every other cities around is being fed with the food from Jesse.
So the door is wide open for anybody that wants to come and invest here.
Though with local farm tools, the farmers are able to get a bumper harvest, they are convinced that if modernized farm implements are made available to them, their production will triple.
We not get market. We need standard market. We will go for the trade.
Nigeria today stands only as a big exporter of raw cassava. She also is a top importer of its byproducts, except for gari. The consensus is that if processing can be done in Nigeria, the benefits will add meaningful value to the national purse.
Very good to see Jesse community after so long. Great that the people are doing just fine. Elsewhere, the Lebuku Festival in Cross River State does not only celebrate the yam in a unique way, the people consider it an opportunity to showcase their rich cultural heritage. Justina Etam captured this year's celebration in Ugep Yako local government area of Cross River State.
Festival, an age-long tradition, is a fusion of culture and agriculture, marked annually by the Yaka people to thank God for bountiful harvest of new yam and other crops. It signifies the survival of the people who face hunger after the year's planting season. Governor Ben Ayade, who described the festival as the richest culture in Africa, commended the people of Ugep for preserving the culture for posterity. The governor assured of commitment to equip the Institute of Technology and Management to deliver quality education to the people, and also announced the creation of over 600 jobs for the people of the area.
We are gathered here to celebrate a culture that is very, very unique. Liverpool is a culture of our people. It's our norms, it's our heritage. You cannot talk about Cross River State without talking about the Yaka people.
Paramount ruler of Yaka, Obol Ofem Eteng, in his address presented by Obol James Ukit, said the Agro Festival has encouraged his people to key into agriculture, especially now that oil is not sustainable. He urged the people of Ugep to key into the agricultural projects of the state government, and also called on the state government to look into resettlement process of Abuja people who have been living as refugees in Ugep, among other issues.
These people were driven from their ancestral home by the Ebom community in 2005. I'm ready to partner with the state government or any agency of government saddled with the responsibility to resettle them.
Thanks for that piece, Justina. She caught the attention of a photographer. Since then, she has been in the news. You'll get to meet her after the break. Stay on the line.
It's a beautiful day.
And now it's time for some amazing music.
Don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back.
Where is it?
What are you searching for?
With Glow Yakata, for every recharge, they'll give you 22 times the amount to call all the networks.
What? So if I load 100 Naira, they will give me 2,200 Naira?
Exactly! And that's not all. They're also giving up to 6 gigabytes of data every month for 6 whole months.
Wow! That's incredible!
Yes!
Are you sure? 22 times on every recharge?
Yup.
Found it! Found it! This is it!
Glow Yakata. Get up to 6 gigabytes data every month for 6 months and 2,200 Naira bonus for every 100 Naira recharge. The call all networks where talkers and browsers live.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
The management of National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, wish to inform the public that reports from NIWA gauge stations nationwide indicates that due to the high level of water as a result of continuous rainfall and dam overflow, many states will be experiencing more flood disasters. For rescue measures, the authority has arranged a rescue team with boats in our area offices nationwide for evacuating people. The following numbers can be contacted for any emergency. NIWA announcer.
I've got something for you. Clorex is the only gum that eliminates odors, giving you real fresh breath.
The Nigerian Ports Authority invites you to the International Association of Ports and Harbors, IAPH Africa Regional Conference holding in Abuja, Nigeria from September 17th to September 19th, 2018. The conference will be declared open by His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, and will discuss the theme, African Ports and Hinterland Connectivity. It will draw participation from experts and leading sector organizations from ports and harbors and trade corridors across Africa and other parts of the world. The conference will assess the current landscape of Africa's port sector and the challenges facing hinterland connectivity. It will also explore critical solutions and homegrown models to enable Africa improve its connectivity, intra-regional trade, funding options, and the sustainability and facilitation of the logistics supply chain. To register and for more information, visit www.iaphabuja2018.com.
Stop spinning. I'ma keep winning till the world stop. Independent women, keep up on me. Come on, till the world stop spinning. Keep up on me. Come on, let's go. I'ma keep winning till the world stop spinning. Independent women, come on, now let's get it. I'ma keep winning till the world stop spinning.
New styles from Darling. Find your beautiful.
Alright kids, today you're all going to tell me how you all spent your holidays. So the essay will be... Who did that? Who did that?
Excitement of the new school session with great tasting Indomie noodles. Hurry now and get yours. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Darling, what's the matter? It's your birthday. Guests are already waiting at the pool.
It's headache, cold, pains all over my body.
Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet contains powerful ingredients specially prepared to bring you fast relief from headache, body ache, cough, flu, cold, and fever.
Baby, how are you feeling now?
Wow, I feel great thanks to Cold Time Tablet.
Cold Time Tablet also available with syrup for children. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet, a quality product from Embassy Pharmaceutical and Chemicals Limited. Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet, your visa to healthy living.
Come on, boys. Come on. Look at this guy. Yeah, that's it. Fall back. Fall back. Oh, this boy.
Tum refreshes and sharpens your senses, making you come alive. Go for it with Tum.
Welcome back. The ancient city of Abeokuta went agog at the weekend when the Alake and paramount ruler of Egbaland, Oba Michael Adedotun Gbadebo, rode out the drum to celebrate his 75th birthday anniversary. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo was among eminent Nigerians who honored the first-class monarch. Lukman Adefeso was there for Newsline.
It was a display of royalty, culture and tradition as eminent Nigerians graced the 75th birthday anniversary of the first-class and paramount ruler of Egbaland, Oba Adedotun Gbadebo. From the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, to the former President Olusegun Obasanjo and former Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Chief Emeka Anyaoku, including Governor Ibikunle Amosun, as well as prominent traditional rulers in Yorubaland, all attended the colorful ceremony to honor the 10th Alake at 75. Encomiums were flowing as guests enjoyed the royal treat, while Vice President Osinbajo unveiled a book in honor of the Alake entitled The Giant Strides of a Vintage Monarch.
PAC is one who is very dear to all of our hearts here. He is an extraordinary individual in so many different ways, has distinguished himself, and all through his life and career, the Almighty God has surely been a great help and a great assistance to him.
As a pilot in traditional affairs of Egbaland, he has a good degree, good education, and he has been in the military. He brought that discipline to traditional rulership, and the Egba has not at any time regretted his being on the throne.
We thank God for your life, that your own reign is witnessing, is bringing development, is bringing progress, is bringing new positive things.
The 3-day events had commenced with the paying of homage by Egba Council of Chiefs and other social cultural groups, as well as the conferment of honors and traditional titles on some Egba sons and daughters.
He is our father, and we wish our father to live long in good health.
He has been able to rule the land for the wisdom and knowledge and understanding that Jehovah God has endowed on him.
Special Muslim prayers led by Chief Imam of Egbaland, Leadi Orunsholu, earlier held at the palace, had in attendance Oba Rilwan Akiolu of Lagos. A special Thanksgiving service was also held at the Cathedral of St. Peter, Ake Abeokuta, where the Bishop of Otukpo Diocese, Anglican Communion, Right Reverend David Bello, prayed God to grant the Alake a long life. Oba Michael Gbadebo is the 10th Alake who ascended the throne in 2005.
Thank God that age is now just a number. Because I feel the same way I used to feel. I still play as many holes in golf as I used to play. And I want to thank my friends, classmates, all the guys at home and in the diaspora. I want to thank the governor.
7-5.
Congratulations to the monarch on turning 75. 50 years ago, the Church of God Mission International came into existence through Archbishop Benson Idahosa of blessed memory, a man whom many still describe as a visionary leader who saw the future. On this Golden Jubilee, dignitaries and members of the church from far and near converged on the balm of Gilead City, Benin, to celebrate his godly legacies. Eugenia Ndubisi reports that the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, was guest lecturer at the event.
Seeing how far God has led the church in propagating the gospel globally in the last 50 years, the congregation have nothing but to appreciate God in songs and praises. Arrival of the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, Governor Obaseki and his wife, Betsy, and wife of Imo State Governor, Norma Nkechi Okorocha, and their entourage heralded the occasion. The Vice President, Yemi Osibanjo, in a lecture titled The Church Politics and Nation Building, went down memory lane on how God gave the church great responsibility to preach the gospel to all nations.
We have not subdued the nation until the principles, the values, and the virtues of the kingdom of God have been accepted as a normal way of life in society. That is what it means. That is what it means to go and teach them to observe all of the things that he has commanded us.
The Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, describes Archbishop Benson Idahosa as a courageous man of God.
His missionary works, which led him to plant churches very early on in every nook and cranny of the former Bendel states, of which Edo State was part, met with stern confrontation by those who were steeped in the African traditional religion.
For the presiding bishop of CGMI, Most Reverend Margaret Idahosa, it is only the grace of God and the commitment of the leaders and members that the church has come this far.
We have kept the faith. We have remained in the race, fixing our focus on Jesus Christ, who is the author and finisher of our faith.
Some prominent Nigerians were presented with Archbishop Benson Idahosa's awards of courage, ministry, and innovation, among whom are former Minister of Education, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, Pastor Chris Ohiakilome, who was represented, and Dr. Godwin Ehigiamoso.
"50 hearty cheers to the Church of God Mission International. Congratulations to all the members." To family matters now, it is more or less a rule for intending couples to get some counseling, formal or informal, before marriage. This is because as soon as the two are joined as man and wife, they keep issues between them, avoiding the proverbial third party. Annie Daniels spoke to some respondents about the apathy for the third party in marriage. Is it that bad to bring an outsider when acrimony is brewing? Take a listen.
Wife, once you bring your mother and father in, or your brothers and sister, to settle cases or any quarrels, you are bringing in problems.
A mother advising the newlywed against entertaining any form of third-party interference in their domestic affairs. No wedding ceremony is complete without the presiding minister. Family and friends advising the new couple not to ever entertain third-party interference.
We have many men that are born. No matter what you do to them, they don't want to leave. For this reason, you will leave your parents, both of you. Because after God, your husband comes. After God, your wife comes.
So inside of that arrangement, there's no room for any external party other than our Lord Jesus Christ.
This respondent narrates his experience.
I go to my mommy. My mother said, see what my wife have done, it don't cook for me anytime, not knowing that I'm destroying my house. At the end of the day, by the time the thing finished in my mind,
that me and my wife settled. It won't finish my mother's mind. We started using it to abuse my wife at my presence, and I will be not happy. But when we stop telling anybody about our issue, about our affairs, there's no any quarrel, and we live in peace. Even to the extent that people are asking them that, so we know they fight again. We know they fight again. They know they hear. Even my mother has complained that you don't call them anything again.
Other respondents couldn't agree more.
Some people are very wicked. They will not lead you to the normal procedure of things.
When you take the issue concerning you and your wife even to your father, it means that you are not capable to be a husband to that person.
Marriage is not meant for babies. It's meant for people who are matured. And if immaturity in the aspect of psychological aspects, the socio-psychological aspect, then financially and mentally, even spiritually.
There were, however, those who do not completely disapprove of third-party interference in a marriage.
Before the wife will report the husband, it might be something. Seriously, maybe the woman has been endured such a thing, and he cannot be able to enjoy it again. It's okay, let me go and report.
Husband and wife, incompatibility. They can't cope. They are tearing each other to pieces, pouring acid to themselves. Then the third party comes to do what? To reconcile them.
But it must be at their request, not somebody jumping in to their marriage to now begin to give them instructions. This is what to do, this is what not to do. No. Let it be at their request, and let them both come together to the same source to receive the appropriate counsel.
Where should the couple go for counseling then?
So I think the best person to come into the affairs is their imam.
You have your people in the church, your sponsors, who are knowledgeable, who are interested in unity. United we stand, divided we fall.
An experienced, God-fearing, practicable Christian leader, possibly their pastor or some other kind of Christian leader with sufficient knowledge of the biblical direction for marriage and information, okay? From time to time also, because we cannot rule out science, there's some good counselors and psychoanalysts and psychologists that might help them. But they need to be careful so that they can weigh whatever they hear from these people according to the word of God.
You heard the submissions. Experience, they say, is the best teacher. From the experiences of these respondents, couples should concentrate on each other, communicate passionately, and entertain the weaknesses of each other.
As we know, marriage is between two people. Enough said. Moving on, your life can change in a snap. Oh yes. 5-year-old Miriam Babatunde's face was captured by a budding photographer while she was assisting her mother at her sales point in Oshodi. That photo generated so much interest on social media to the extent of attracting buyers. But rather than selling the photo for financial gains, the photographer decided to raise money through a grant for Miriam. Newsline tracked down all the actors in this life-changing story, as Dotun Oguyemi reports.
This is Oshodi, a densely populated axis of Lagos, famous for the hustle and bustle of humans and traffic. The faces of inhabitants tell stories of struggle and opportunities. Miriam and her mother, Balikis Babatunde, are among the maddening crowd. Miriam sells cotton bud, shaving sticks, and toothbrushes. Patronage is low, so I decided to encourage her by buying some cotton buds. How much do you make every day?
500 and 400.
Until only a few weeks ago, Miriam was just another random girl. Fame, however, found her when she smiled at Bayo's lenses despite her mother's reluctance.
I even told him not to take the picture, but she reveals that she wants to take it.
After reviewing some of the pictures he took on that fateful day, Bayo's professional eyes saw deeper and knew the outcome would change Miriam's life.
Miriam's picture, she's probably the only kid I covered that day, and after I put it on social media, a couple of people asked to just pay for some of the images. The initial thought was to come to Oshodi, talk to the mother, find a way to make her sign like a release form, then of course maybe make money from it. But on a second thought, I realized that Of course, that money can go without it being full. So the idea the initiative came to be, which is to use that particular image to raise funds for Miriam for her schooling.
Balikis has been selling at this same spot at Oshodi for over a year now, being assisted by her daughter. She barely makes 3,000 naira daily, but she renews her struggle with prayers. She is hopeful that the gesture will enable her daughter get a good education.
I hope with this vision I hope to enough of money to send her to school.
For Miriam's mother, her desire is to see her daughter succeed. But Miriam tells me that her ambition is to become a teacher. And what better way to achieve that than to help her get quality education?
She's so cute. Miriam's story is reminiscent of Olajumoke, the Agege bread seller-turned model. We all love when life plays out like a fairy tale. Beautiful endings are the best. Now, flowers are beautiful and we can't help but love them. Apart from beautifying indoor and outdoor spaces, they uplift the mood. Flowers can also be used to express love, admiration, and appreciation. Then, too, imagine an event in 2018 without flowers completing the picture. Flowers are a big deal globally. But do you know that there's more to flowers than the appeal? Jennifer Igwe will tell you more.
The sweet scent and exotic nature of a flower for some Nigerians only come to mind when they are visiting intending in-laws for the first time. It is at such times that this age-long wooing line comes to play.
We found a flower at your backyard. It has a meaning. The meaning is that there is a bride in that place that they have come to ask her hand in marriage. So that is one cultural use of flower.
For some, interpretation and connotation of flowers go beyond imaginary gardens. And hey, come to think of it, it's another dimension of wooing and key ingredients in spicing up a love relationship. And a particular species of flower has a universal symbolism for this.
Red rose stands for love. So now depend on the person you are giving out. And then the yellow symbolizes friendship.
Flowers sure have a language well understood and appreciated by those who understand it, including the emotional sentiments they command. That's why, in addition to its lovey-dovey language, flowers can soothe hurting nerve, compliment a person, and even calm angry tempers.
I have a customer that told me that, Victoria, I say yes, if I'm angry in the house and I would go to my garden, I saw my flowers, or I enter my room, I just saw my flowers at the side of my bed, I feel joy in my heart. It gives me extra happiness. And I have a customer that say, if I'm sick, I'm not feeling like I'm going down. And if I just like go into my room, I saw my flower at the side of my bed, or go to my garden, I get better.
Now, these stems of Jabera flowers I'm holding, we can get them in Jos right here in Nigeria. And they're not as expensive as we think, because most times when we talk about fresh flowers, we always have this misconception that they're very expensive.
A stem of that can be either 600, 800, highest 1.5.
As a personal gift, colorful blooms and bouquets say a lot, particularly to those who understand and appreciate meanings they send. For others, it's a no-no. Flower and money, which one you go choose?
Money, now money I go choose now.
Why now?
Because now money I go feed my family. I dey choose a flower. How can we choose flower? For what purpose?
It's cash, of course. What would I possibly be doing with a flower when I know with a cash I can buy a flower and bunquets of anyone I want?
Well, can't you just be romantic and appreciate the flower?
Romantic? Romantic, that's being stupid, not romantic, Joe. The flower will just be there for just fancy.
I can give to my wife flower to know really I love her, not matter of money, cash.
One of the problems people have about flowers is preservation.
Glycerin can be used to prepare flour. That will keep the flour supple and more or less fresh. Preserve it with paraffin wax. That's another chemical that will help to keep the color of the flour for a long time.
You have to put it, one, in water. Secondly, the place should not be too stuffy. You have to be at least a not really a normal temperature. Let me say a normal temperature, not too hot.
And for those who would never consider selling flowers as a means of livelihood, a change of mind is pertinent. There is, interestingly, demand and market for them.
Yes, of course. Depend on your relationship with your customer. You understand? And how your work, how beautiful you present your work.
Roadside florists like Yemi Taiwo are proof that you can start your own flower business from the corner of your neighborhood and smile to the bank.
You can make 50,000 a day, and they can make 20,000 a day.
The Nigerian ecosystem is rich with diverse species of beautiful, bright, and exotic flowers. This can be explored to enrich the purses of many and emotional needs of some.
Now you know flowers speak. All you need to do is understand the language. So nice to know you're still there. We'll take another break. Don't go away.
Speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
If you don't get money, hide your face. You can call me small doctor. Omo ya teacher. What's it bad penalty or throwing?
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Your detergent and with new look Ariel.
Ariel, now in a new look pack.
An indigenous company with investors across Nigeria, Galaxy Intercontinental Miners Concept Limited, a subsidiary of Galaxy Transportation and Construction Companies, is committed to providing our clients the best. What more? Patronizing us is not just a business transaction, but committing to the economic development of our great country, Nigeria. 5% of our profits goes to charity, IDPs, and orphanages. Our branches are located off Abuja, Kaduna Road, Jere Local Government, and Jikoko Mpape, Abuja. For details, call
This is my first experience riding this train. I've heard about it so much all around the city.
Actually, I'm surprised that such a development is coming to us.
I was impressed, so neat, and actually you can compare with any type of train, all over the world.
I could not imagine that I'll be going from Edo straight to the airport by train.
And the environment is so clean, and the ACs are cool.
I want to commend
federal government for the initiative to provide these train services.
And I wish to laud the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari in seeing that this project is a reality.
Please get ready to alight on the right side of the train. Thank you.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria. Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible for stopping the spread of fake news in its tracks. So, always check the source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
To have you back. It is no longer news that we hear reports of certain individuals getting involved in diabolical doctrines, such as using human parts for rituals. What is now news is the fact that presumed mentally deranged persons are found in such acts. Our next report is one of such. We are however warned that the film contains some flash images via discretion is advised.
Residents of Selenisa along Lagos-Badagry Expressway were thrown into confusion following the recent discovery of a ritualist den in the area. This followed a sudden disappearance of a 4-year-old child whose lifeless body was later discovered at the location, a situation which led to thorough search and raiding of the area by men of the Nigerian police force and the Lagos State Neighborhood Watch. The prime suspect is a middle-aged woman, Folake Falade, who has been parading herself as a lunatic.
Of crime that looks like a ritualist den. We were attracted to the scene by information from public spirited individuals. We have found the suspect, we have arrested her, we brought the human flesh here. We have pictures of the skull and parts of the human flesh, and the photograph of an innocent boy who may have been a victim of ritual killings.
Residents of the area who spoke off camera said the suspects often move with a GSM phone and new Naira notes. The incident, which attracted angry mob, led to the lynching of one of our accomplices.
What I have is momo, cow skin. My accomplice brought the exhibit.
We were unable to retrieve the skull because of the surge by the mob who wanted to burn the suspect. Of course, we were interested in the suspect so that from there the police could interrogate and get more about it.
Let me use this opportunity again to appeal to our youths, appeal to Lagosians that where there is an incident, we have provided many platforms for them to seek redress. Jungle justice is definitely not part of Lagos life.
With the prevalence of ritual killings, sudden disappearance, and adoption of innocent persons, one may wonder what could be the rationale for such unsympathetic behavior.
It's unfortunate, and because that is the value that we have in our society, anybody who wants to do anything just to make this money so I can become a chief.
Nobody will look for any crazy money. And anybody who dare do such a thing, and when they get hold of him, either the officer who aid him or himself, let them face it squarely. Up to today, have you heard the judgment of Clifford Oji? Have you given us a conclusion about Clifford Oji? Not him alone. No. Just one that comes to my head. So those are the problems we have.
And what is the position of Islam and Christianity for such evil acts?
If she knows that this person was murdered and she's partaking in the profits gaining of that person's misery, then she should be categorized as a murderer.
The Bible says thou shalt not kill. That's one. The Bible also frowns very seriously at, the act of being diabolical or being fetish. And there are consequences. Even if the long arm of the law of man did not catch up with that woman and she gets away with it, as it were, ultimately, in eternity, the long arm of God's judgment will still catch up with her.
This may certainly not be the last of such discovery, as more of such ritualists then may still exist. But what Nigerians are more concerned with is the measures taken by government and law enforcement agents towards prosecuting those culpable.
Some happenings are indeed stranger than fiction. Moving on, prior to now, the prison was considered a torture chamber. The opinion then was that after serving term, ex-convicts graduate into hardened criminals. But that is not the situation right now. Annie Daniels will tell us the changes that have taken place.
The Nigerian Prison Service is the third arm of the criminal justice system. Its statutory functions include taking into lawful custody all those certified to be kept by courts of competent jurisdiction, produce suspects in courts as and when due, identify the causes of suspects' antisocial disposition, and setting in motion mechanism for their treatment and training for eventual reintegration into society as regular law-abiding citizens upon discharge. The former Assistant Controller General of Prisons, Babalola Kunle-Akanni, informed Newsline that the Nigerian Prison Service is leaving no stone unturned in ensuring that inmates, when discharged, are reintegrated into the society.
Training of convicted inmates is very important because it's better to turn them out better citizens than making them people who will be leaving the prison and coming back into the prison.
Presently, we have some of our inmates who have master's degree, and some of them are even they are into their PhD program right now. We have some of them too that are training in terms of empowerment in various skills. Like we have some of them that are into barbing, some of them are into tailoring, some of them are into sports. As a matter of fact, we have some of the footballers that can even represent Nigeria in any competition. We have some of them that are also good spiritually.
Newsline was also informed that minors are no longer taken into custody by the Nigerian Prison Service. Rather, the service ensures their proper rehabilitation, reformation, and reintegration, devoid of any form of abuse.
With the assistance of the Chief Judge of the State and the Attorney General, all the juveniles, all the underage in our prisons have been moved out to both side institutions and to remand homes. It's an instruction.
The rehabilitated and ex-convicts face another hurdle. Some respondents say that stigmatization of ex-convicts has remained a problem.
But if some people's mind they are made up their mind about what they believe and what they stand for. Because some have gone to prison, they came out from prison, and they continued doing what they were doing before they went to prison. And some have even gone there up to 3 or 4 times. So it will take some time to get those hearts or those minds changed.
Dr. Leto prefers solutions.
To beyond the fact, it is worth the ex-convict does that will convince his people or our people to know that he has changed.
Yes, indeed, Nigerian prisons are reformative centers. Time for our last break. Stay with us.
Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow.
So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
And this is how we end Newsline tonight. Thanks for your company. We hope to return next week with interesting stories for your delight. Until then, stay positive. And up next is Alibaba Seriously. When he walked into the studio looking all dressed to the nines, I was tempted to go area. Let's see him, please.
You know, we're celebrating marriages from the South today. So
wow, you look fabulous.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I hope your show will be fabulous too.
Thank you, thank you. We will.
Make sure you watch. It's always great. Good night and God bless Nigeria.